How can Flask be integrated with a database for backend logic? Have you ever wondered how to connect your Flask application to a database for managing data? This integration is essential for building dynamic web applications. Let's break down the process step by step. First, you need to choose a database. Popular options include SQLite, PostgreSQL, and MySQL. SQLite is a great choice for beginners due to its simplicity and file-based nature. It is lightweight and requires minimal setup, making it perfect for small projects. Once you have selected your database, the next step is to configure your Flask application to connect to it. You will need to specify the Database Uniform Resource Identifier in your application's configuration. For example, if you are using SQLite, you would set the SQLAlchemy database to point to your database file location. This tells Flask how to connect to your chosen database. Now, you have two main options for interacting with the database, using an Object Relational Mapper or executing raw SQL queries. Flask-SQLAlchemy is a popular extension that integrates SQLAlchemy with Flask. It allows you to work with Python classes and objects instead of writing raw SQL. Alternatively, you can use the built-in SQLite module or other database drivers for direct SQL commands. After setting up your connection, you need to initialize the database within your Flask application. This involves creating a function to set up the database connection and prepare the database schema. You can define a function like initHap that registers database-related functions with your Flask app. Additionally, you can create a command to initialize the database schema by executing SQL scripts or creating tables using your Object Relational Mapper models. Managing database sessions is also important. Typically, a Flask application opens a database connection when handling a request and closes it afterward. You can register teardown functions to ensure the connection is closed after each request, which helps with resource management. Next, you will define your models or schema. If you are using an Object Relational Mapper like SQLAlchemy, you will create models as Python classes that representing tables in your database. These models will include attributes that correspond to table columns, making it easy to manipulate data. Now you are ready to perform create, read, update, and delete operations. You can use the database connection or Object Relational Mapper session to manage data as part of your backend logic. For instance, you might add a new user, query existing records, update entries, or delete data as needed. To illustrate, here is a simple workflow. First, configure the database URI in your Flask application. Then, initialize the database with db-initHap if you are using Flask-SQLAlchemy. After that, create models that representing your data. Use Flask commands or scripts to create the database schema. Finally, in your root handlers or backend logic, utilize the database session to query or modify data. Integrating Flask with a database allows your backend to handle data-driven logic effectively. This setup is essential for functionalities like user authentication, data storage, and generating API responses based on database queries. By following these steps, you can make backend development accessible and straightforward.